Toda, good morning, boys. Alright, today we're going to read Genesis chapter 18. It says, Abraham gets visited by God, by three angels that speak to him and tell him he's going to have a son. And if you notice, these angels appear as men, and Abraham actually goes and makes bread for them. So you don't know who you're talking to. You could be, I guess what I'm trying to say is, at times in life you don't know if you're talking to an angel or who it is. So I guess what I'm saying is, you should always be on your best behavior, have the utmost respect for all people. I love you guys. Here we go. Now the Lord appeared to Abraham by the oaks of terebinths of Mamre, as he sat at the door of his tent in the heat of the day. He lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, three men stood at a distance from him. He ran from the tent door to meet them, and bowed himself to the ground. He bowed, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in your sight, do not pass by your servant, I beg you. Let a little water be brought, and may you wash your feet, and recline, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will bring a mouthful of bread to refresh and sustain your hearts before you go on further, for that is why you have come to your servant. And they replied, Do as you have said. So Abraham hastened into the tent to Sarah, and said, Quickly, get ready 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and bake cakes. And Abraham ran to the herd, brought a calf tender and good, and gave it to the young man to butcher. Then Abraham hastened to prepare it. And he took curds and milk, and the calf which he had made ready, and set it before the men. And he stood by them under the tree while they ate. And they said to him, Where is Sarah your wife? And he said, She is here in the tent. The Lord said, I will surely return to you when the season comes round, and behold, Sarah your wife will have a son. And Sarah was listening and heard it, the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in years. It had ceased to be with Sarah as with young women. She was past the age of childbearing. So we're saying Sarah was too old to have kids now. Okay? I think she was like 90 something, 90, I don't remember. She was old. Therefore Sarah laughed to herself, saying, After I have become aged, shall I have pleasure and delight, my Lord husband being old also? So Sarah laughed. Ha ha ha. And the Lord asked Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh? Saying, Shall I really bear a child when I am so old? Is anything too hard, too wonderful for the Lord? At the appointed time, when the season for delivery comes around, I will return to you, and Sarah shall have borne a son. Then Sarah denied it, saying, I didn't laugh. No, I didn't laugh. For she was afraid. Sarah was scared. And he said, No, but you did laugh. The men rose up there and faced toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. Wait till you see why they go to Sodom. Uh-oh. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham my friend and servant what I am going to do? Since Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed through him, and shall bless themselves by him. For I have known, chosen, acknowledged him as my own, so that he may teach and command his children and the sons of his house after him to keep the way of the Lord, and to do what is just and righteous, so that the Lord may bring Abraham what he has promised him. And the Lord said, Because the shriek of the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and their sin is exceedingly grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether as vilely and wickedly as they cry to it, which come to me, and if not, I will know. Now the 2 men turned from there, and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood there before the Lord. And Abraham came close, and said, Will you destroy the righteous, those upright, and in right standing with God together with the wicked? So now Abraham's actually talking to God, saying, Hey God, are you really just going to kill everybody? What about the people that aren't bad? So that's a big deal. Like, you're gonna kind of question God, I guess. But I guess he's looking for God's mercy. Far be it from you to do such a thing, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous fare as do the wicked. Far be it from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth execute judgment and do righteously? And the Lord said, If I find the city of Sodom 50 righteous, upright and right standing with God, I will spare the whole place for their sake. God says, if there's 50 people there, I won't do it. Abraham answered, Behold, now I am but dust and ashes, have taken upon myself to speak to the Lord. Wow. Yeah. I imagine I must have taken some gohenes. Big deal. If 5 of the 50 righteous should be lacking, will you destroy the whole city for the lack of 5? He said, If I find 45, I will not destroy it. And Abraham spoke to him yet again, and said, Suppose only 40 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 40's sake. Then Abraham said to him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak again. Suppose only 30 shall be found there. And he answered, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And Abraham said, Behold now, I have spoken upon myself to speak again to the Lord. Suppose only 20 shall be found there. And the Lord replied, I will not destroy for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak again only this once. Suppose 10 righteous people shall be found there. And the Lord said, I will not destroy it for the 10's sake. And the Lord went his way, and he had finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. I love that chapter. I don't know why, but I love it. Maybe it's the angels talking to God. I love you guys. Boker Tov. Have a wonderful day.